So I know I talk about this a lot, but this is basically all the Pittsburgh media talks about. So I'm going to get a quick live up here and get some content up for the channel. Mark Madden comes out with his copy and pasted column like he does every time the Steelers lose. He copies and pastes his column that he wrote the 3 weeks before, rewrites it and uploads it and adds a few new words and acts like it's new to meet his quota each and every week at the Trib Total Media. And this is basically the title of his headline article. Mark Madden, Steelers lost at Cleveland, littered with ineptitude. So let's read it. If the Pittsburgh Steelers blow the AFC North Championship in the playoffs by losing at home to the Baltimore on Sunday, Mike Tomlin should be fired before he gets off the field. I mean, is that true? Is that not true? Is that an overreaction? I mean, we talked about it last night. We broke it all down last night. Are they going to fire Mike Tomlin if they lose on Sunday? Probably not. Would that be an overreaction to fire Mike Tomlin that day, that night, if they lose to the Baltimore Ravens? 100%. That's an overreaction, and that's a reactionary statement from a reactionary, especially Steelers still have Mike Tomlin on contract for next year and the year after that. And then he follows up, but it's more likely that Mike Tomlin will sprint to the office of Art Rooney II and immediately sign a lucrative contract extension. Well, he has 2 years left on his deal. So you're just trying to sensationalize your article even more by making a claim like that. That would be in the same spirit of DK Metcalf crippling the Steelers' passing game by getting a 2-game suspension for smacking a fan in Detroit, having a $45 million in contract guarantees thus voided, and having the guarantees immediately reinstated by the Steelers. So let's talk about this excerpt that was immediately reinstated by the Steelers. So let's look at this from a Steelers front office point of view, and the fact that he said that was immediately reinstated. The way I see it is DK Metcalf had displayed contract detrimental to the team. So just because they come out right now and sit here and they put on a face and they're smiling and telling you that they have full faith and full plans with DK in the future, I say if the Steelers lose this game, given the fact that they got $39 million in cap space, DK Metcalf's contract is now no longer in the future plans and considerations for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and his contract's now null and void. But given the fact that if they do win this game and they make the playoffs and they don't have one wide receiver outside of DK Metcalf on this roster, you kind of have to bite the bullet and put on a fake face right now, given this situation. And this is the same guy that comes out in the media every day and calls Steeler fans marks because because they believe what the Steelers are selling. So, in my opinion, this is Mark Madden being the epitome of a mark, acting like the Steelers still don't have full control of this DK Metcalf contract if they deem it necessary to cut him after this season, which, if they lose, in my opinion, is highly likely. Now, given the fact that why you're not going to fire Mike Tomlin, and we'll continue with this article to make that a point. There's zero accountability throughout the Steelers organization. That's on the owner, but you can't fire your owner. I can handle things. I'm smart. I want respect. So basically, he's trying to say that with that state, he's trying to say the Rooneys don't know anything. They only have the best win-loss percentage in all of sports. All of sports. We're not just talking NFL. All of sports, the last 20 years, the Pittsburgh Steelers have the fourth best win-loss percentage in all of sports. So I think the Rooneys know what they're doing. They're the top story every day on ESPN. Every day, the Steelers are the national media. And they sell out pretty much every game. So I mean, come on, man. If you got rid of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the economy in Pittsburgh probably would collapse, bro. There wouldn't even be an economy left in Pittsburgh if there wasn't any Pittsburgh Steelers. Seriously, they are and has it been bad? Is this 10 years stretch without a playoff win? Does Tomlin deserve credit for it? Is there playoff collapses year after year after year after year? Yeah. But for him to be this competitive year after year, that you got to give him credit for that in the same sense, because the NFL is a competitive league. And here we go. We'll go on to why we're not going to fire him. Tomlin apologized. This is Madden. Tomlin apologized bleat that he would have another job 5 minutes after the Steelers fire him. Well, I mean, is that being an apologist or is that being a realist? Because I'm looking at it right here now. Let's see. Who's this for the New York Jets? Or no, who's that? The New York Giants. This is their new coach, Mike Kafka. A .167 win-loss percentage. Aaron Glenn for the New York Jets. A .186 win-loss percentage. Brian Callahan for Tennessee. 1.74. Kellen Moore. 3.75. Brian Schottenheimer for the Cowboys. He has a below 500 record. Ben Johnson. He's good, I guess, this year. But is Ben Johnson really that good? Everybody's going to hype up Ben Johnson as this great coach. He led the Bears to an 11-5 record. Are they going to get it done in the playoffs? Maybe, maybe not. Is Ben Johnson a good offensive coach? Does he deserve credit for this season? Maybe, maybe not. Let's see what his win-loss percentage is, though, after 20 years and after next year, when they probably pull a way harder schedule than they pulled this year, because the Bears happen to be dead last in that division last year. So, given that fact, they have the easiest schedule in that division. Same with the Patriots. Mike Vrabel has a career. Where's Mike Vrabel at? This is a guy that gets just so overrated to me. They talk about Tomlin being overrated. Mike Vrabel, 69, 51 in his career, has never been to a Super Bowl, has never won a Super Bowl, has a career 5.75 win-loss percentage, is getting all this hype and all this credit for turning the Patriots around, which he deserves. But still, at the end of the day, they have a fourth place schedule, and are the Patriots? That's what Tomlin Tomlin's not going to go anywhere in the Where are the Patriots going to go in the playoffs? Where are the Bears going in the playoffs? Dan Campbell. Where are the Lions and Dan Campbell are going in the playoffs this year? Anywhere? Because Dan Campbell is another coach that got all this. So the way I see it, there's easily. I mean, on the Bills. Tomlin got so much hate for the longest time. Oh, he can't get it done with Le'Veon Bell, with Big Ben, with Antonio Brown. He has all the talent in the world. He couldn't get it done, which is true. It's a fair criticism. We'll go with that. But why does Sean McDermott get put up on this pedestal as such a great coach, yet he's never won a Super Bowl, has never been to a Super Bowl, has Josh Allen, who has probably one of the best career starts ever for a starting quarterback in NFL history, is probably next to Patrick Mahomes, the epitome of a franchise quarterback. You have an all-pro running back. You have a great offensive line. You've had solid defenses. So what's keeping the Bills from getting over the hump? Other than, I mean, if we're going to make that argument against Mike Tomlin's the one keeping the Steelers over, what's keeping the Bills over the hump? So who's to say, hey, Mike Tomlin has way more career wins than Sean McDermott. Mike Tomlin can actually come in here and orchestrate a defense. If I'm Buffalo, we're done with you. The fans are done with you. You can't get it done in the playoffs. We want a coach that's won a Super Bowl. Why don't they go get Mike Tomlin? Why is it the New York Jets? Kevin Stefanski, Zach Taylor, a guy, Mark Madden, after one good year, put ahead of Mike Tomlin. Where are they at right now? Are they going to make it? What are they going to do in the playoffs? Is that the reason they're not? I mean, they got Joe Burrow, T. Higgins. Shit, if I'm Cleveland, if I'm Cincinnati, I'm looking at Mike Tomlin as, man, I would love to have a coach for Mike Tomlin. So the idea that, you're an apologist for saying other teams would pick him up, that's just the fact, bro. That's just the bottom line. That isn't a Rooney Rule. That isn't a DEI hire. That's a guy with the most wins, second most wins in the NFL right now, and one of the best win-loss percentages in the NFL history. So that's not a DEI hire. That's not what they want to label Tomlin. That's a guy who's earned the next job that, if so facto the Steelers fired, would be hired, boom, to one of the most lucrative contracts in the NFL. That's not an opinion. That's a fucking fact. That's a fact. And why are we not going to fire Tomlin? And why is it overreaction? Because does he deserve to be fired if the Steelers blow this lollipop, especially after they lollipopped and handed that game over to Cleveland? At this point, probably. But are the Steelers going to do it? No. And why is it overreaction? Because the worst comes to worst. Like I said, this is one of the best resumes, one of the best coaches in the NFL. If you fired him today, in 5 minutes, he'd be picked up by another team. So, if anything, the draft's in Pittsburgh this year. Every goddamn fan in Pittsburgh wants to see this guy gone. So, make a deal, trade him, because I guarantee you can get a return on whatever you was. You probably get a first round pick for Mike Tomlin, bro. So you can't just overreact. Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, everybody's mad. Everybody wants to see Mike Tomlin. But as a business and as an organization, you got to be smart. You got to think to the future. And no matter what you say about Mike Tomlin, he has built a foundation here. And the fucking floor is 8 wins and about 15 other franchises wishes they can have 8, 9, 10, 11 years wins every year and be competing for a championship. But this is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the standard is higher. And, the message might have run stale, and it might be time to move on. But if it's me, I got 2 years left on a coach like that. He got a no trade clause in his contract too. So are you going to be able to trade him? Is he going to agree to a trade? Maybe, maybe not. They forced Chuck Noll out. So if I'm the Roonies, I'm going to, you got to sit down in a room and you got to really negotiate. And if that's the course that they want to take to move on from Mike Tomlin, you got to sit down and say, hey, Mike, thank you for everything. We love you. We don't want to fire you. We hope you accept the no trade clause, because the New York Giants, they just fired their head coach. They need a culture change. We're going to get one of their top tier draft picks, and you're going to get a fresh start, and we're going to get a fresh start. I honestly I don't see him getting fired, but if anything, that would be the scenario and the route that the Pittsburgh Steelers organization will take, because like earlier in his article, he's talking about how the Roonies aren't smart, but obviously they are smart about doing business, because DK went out and did what he did. And like he said in the article, they just reinstated all. That's not the case. They can cut him whenever they want, and they still have that option to cut him whenever they want. Just like after this season, if Mike Tomlin doesn't win a playoff game, they have the option to either pick up his contract or not pick up his contract. So I think the Steelers are doing smart business. And guess what? In the offseason, they got $39 million in cap space. The draft is in Pittsburgh. So the Steelers are going to be making major headlines this offseason, major moves this offseason, regardless of the outcome of the Baltimore Ravens game, and regardless of the outcome if they do beat the Baltimore Ravens and get into the playoffs. Because let's just put it this way: if we should fire him if he loses, well, if he wins, guess what? He ties Chuck Noll all time in franchise history as the winningest coach in franchise history. He's done it in less games, so don't come at me with the longevity argument. He's done it in less games, has won a Super Bowl, and if he has one more playoff run, just one more playoff run, he's not only top 10 in NFL regular season wins, he's top 10 in NFL playoff wins. So are you going to fire a coach like that? Nah, to me, the best move is try to maximize and get whatever value or get whatever you can get in return for a coach like that. Because I guarantee you, if you put him on a trade block, you're going to get a healthy return for Mike Tomlin. So here we go, Steelers. I got faith in them winning. I believe defense wins championships. Steelers have a way better defense than the Pittsburgh Steelers. This game's in the Berg. Renegade's going to be playing. The blitz is going to be coming. The turnovers are going to be forced. And all the offense needs to do is capitalize on them when they come. And don't do no dumb shit, Tomlin. Don't be giving points to a high-powered Baltimore Ravens offense. Don't be going for it on 4th and 10. Don't be going for it on 4th and 9. Play defense, play offense, play special teams, play Steelers football, play complimentary ball, and you get out of here and you get in the playoffs. And then if you go on a run, this Mark Madden can't say nothing, can't say shit. You're top 10 in every statistical category whatsoever. So history will absolve you at the end of the day. So just get this dub and get in the playoffs and take care of business. period. Because if you don't, how much longer? How much longer can the Steelers really go without winning a playoff game before you say enough is enough is enough? So I'm going to end it.